Hello everybody, I am Gordanoth, and I will be bringing you tonight my first and probably my last ever commentated match of Starcraft 2. I will tell you in advance that this match is terrible. Now, some of you may be wondering, why would you put a terrible game up on the internet so everybody can laugh at you? Well, one, the participants wanted this terrible game on the internet, God knows why. Two, I will be analysing the mistakes and hopefully bettering myself. And three, maybe somewhere out there someone else will learn something too. So, getting straight into it, on the Team 1 we have myself playing the stylish Pink Terror, and Pat Zorg playing the not so stylish Blue Terran, Tenaker playing the Green Terran, and on Team 2 we have Daza as the Red Protoss, Legfu as the Turquoise Terran, and White Knight as the Yellow Terran. Yes, we are in fact nearly all Terran. That being said, are you sitting comfortably? Then let's begin. Right, okay, so here we go. Starting off on Forbidden Planet 3v3. Just to reiterate the disclaimer that we had before, this isn't going to be pro gameplay. I'd say on average everyone here has about, 3-4 matches of online StarCraft 2 under their belt. A couple of us, specifically me and Daza the Protoss, have significantly more, but some have a bit less. So what you're going to see is some pretty new gameplay, but where there's loads of mistakes, but yeah, it's also mistakes that you can learn from, that I'm going to analyze and say exactly what we did wrong. So here Pat Zorg goes for a extremely early expansion. This is not such a bad idea. He goes for it even before he has his first barracks, which is extremely early. He is completely defenseless now if they had decided to attack it. Luckily they don't, and that gives them a huge economic advantage. The rest of us Terran players are happily walling off inside our base. Most standard Terran strategy in the world. The barracks and 2 supply depots. And some of us are walling off with bunkers as there. Daza here has already got his cybernetics core down and is researching Warp Gate, for training some units there, and looks like he's getting ready to put down his his first expansion as well. So most Terrans getting to the point where they're getting their second barracks down. Again, the most standard opening in the world. 1 tech lab, 1 reactor. And here I am putting down a Ghost Academy. The theory behind this is that the most experienced player on the other team and the most dangerous is Protoss. He is also a Protoss who, in the past, likes to use Psystorms. Really, this will rip apart any Marine Marauder army, which is what I tend to go for, unless you can counter it with Ghosts. Even if he tends not to go, even if he doesn't go with High Templars, though, it is nice to pick up the Ghosts. The MPs do a lot of damage to Stalker shields, as well as, well, nearly anything Protoss. It's a nice advantage to have. You can never really fault it. Again, nothing that much interesting going on at the moment. We're basically just building up our units, getting ready for our first confrontation. I'm putting down a factory there to go for medevacs. Pat Zorg getting his second barracks up late because of that first early expansion. The harm he's doing to himself now will actually come back as an advantage very soon. As you can see, his revenue is getting quite ahead of us. It looks like Tenaker went for some early Reapers. He doesn't make much use of them yet, though. hasn't researched this nitro boost thing for extra speed. They do come in useful later in the game, but if he did use it earlier, he might have been able to pull off some sweet Reaper harass. Now, here's an important thing to note. Team 2 is doing, the right thing here. They are merging their forces, making sure that their forces are centralized and are can easily reinforce any part of their base should it come under attack. If you look at our forces over here, we are very much segregated. We are completely and utterly divided and are playing this as though it's a 1v1 going on. This is one of our biggest mistakes, to be honest. As you can see, I have my little army here thinking, well, it's quite a good number, it's okay. And here comes the 3 armies of our enemies. We haven't seen each other yet, but it will be coming soon. I finally got my second expansion down, second base rather. Haven't started building any SCVs out of it yet. And here comes the engagement. Stalkers coming in, very nice, and very nice force fields, walling off some of the ghosts, but also making sure that the majority of my forces cannot flee. As you can see, caught completely out of position. We have no backup in the vicinity. There's more reinforcements from our enemies streaming in here, and they're just going to eat our base. Well, my base. The Warlaw pulls them up temporarily. Maybe I can get a kill or something. Patzor desperately trying to come in and save me, but he's way too late. I'm going to lose a barracks. I've already lost that reactor. It's going to set me back a huge way. Here comes Patzor finally taking them in from behind, but the high ground advantage has been turned now. They are higher than the defenders, which is always a bad thing. He's destroyed some of the forces, but there are still a few remaining, taking on my SCV line now. Wonderful, isn't it? To watch all my SCVs die in a blaze of fire. You did well, SCVs. You took down a single stalker. Good job. Finally, Tanakar and Patzor coming in with reinforcements. They're going to mop it up here. But that was an extremely, extremely damaging attack. I basically been put out of the game. Here you see no resources. Absolutely none. And only 4 workers. Oh no. And we see that Daza has in fact trained even more stalkers ready to rip apart my base, which has been opened up nice and easily. Patzor pulling his units back to his base. Again, we don't learn from our mistake. We do not conglomerate our forces in an attempt to hold back the inevitable counterattack. We go back to acting as individual units rather than a cohesive team. Again, you don't want to do this. If you are playing a 2v2 or 3v3, then you are going to be fighting massed armies that are working together. You cannot take them on alone, no matter what you think. As we see here, again, they are quite nicely conglomerating their forces, taking the Zelnaga Watchtower, making sure nothing sneaks past them. If we had put our forces together and then pushed through the north here, we might have been able to do quite a bit of damage to Daz's expansion and main base before their forces could come and retaliate. We didn't do that, we didn't scout, we didn't do anything, and we kept separate. And we're going to pay for it, as you're going to see. As we can see, a counterattack is planned, though I have nothing to give to it. Patzorg and Tanakar are going to merge their forces and try and take down White Knight here. We'll see how that goes. What they don't know, of course, is that there is this huge force massing right there, and it is going to hurt once this comes. Really, really hurt. So here's the forces. They are not seeing each other. It looks like we're going to go for a base swap. The forces of Team 2 are going to go for my weakened my weakened army of 1 siege tanks, 2 marines, an SCV, and a medevac. Obviously, I have the advantage here, but somehow they completely rip me apart. I call hacks. Leet hacks. They see my expansion, which had managed to survive their first attack, and it dies. They take that. They really, really hate that barracks and take it down. They do pull back though in an attempt to save the White Knight, who has come under an attack from the joint forces. The problem is though that the marauders of Patlor are being kept out of the fight because Tanaka's Marines are blocking the ramp. And as you can see, Tanaka's Marines just standing around there. Quite bad micro. To be honest, there was no way that we were taking that down anyway, because here comes the counterattack force. Up the ramp they go, taking them from behind, and yeah. Ouch. Really, really ouch. It would have been possible, though, if the Marines had focused fired White Knight's base to kill it. And then he would have had absolutely no base. Well, actually, he does have an expansion. Sorry, my bad. So it wouldn't have done that much. Again, I've managed to survive that attack thanks to the distraction of my teammates, and have a siege tank and 4 marines. I'm pretty much done in this match. There's no way I can recover from this attack. I know it, my teammates know it. We're just basically holding out for as long as possible. If this had been a 1v1, I'd have GG'd by now, but because I said I'd commentate this match, I stay with it for a while. Okay, let's go have a look. Team 2's forces are nicely spread out. If they'd have attacked now, we couldn't have repelled them at all, and this game would have been over a lot faster, but they decide to pull back, play safe, make sure their base doesn't come under attack. More Stalkers up here, and an important thing to note, Daza going for his 2nd expansion. We have all basically forgotten to expand. Because my expansion was destroyed, and I really need to get it back. And Tanaka, because it would be very difficult for him to take his natural here with White Knight so close. He has taken an expansion up there, which is just getting started, but does it clearly with the economic advantage, or he will have once this expansion comes up, which will allow him to warp in more units and allow him to overrun us even